window where we are going to add the activities. Okay. Next, we'll see about the relationship. See, relationship is very important, which plays important role in the project management. So first relationship, when you see here, it is finish to start. So finish to start means, suppose if you are having a one activity, after completion of this activity, then this will be started. So you can call here, we have two terms here. Okay, we have successor and preceders. Say successor is nothing but next activity, preceders is nothing but previous activity. We have two terms, successor, preceders. Successor means next activity, preceders means previous activity. Now here if I consider this activity, after completion of this activity, and this will be started. Now next relationship, finish to finish. In this case what happens, both activity will be completed on the same date. So that is, you can see here, finish to finish. So this will be completed, along with this also completes. The finish date of the both the activity will be same. Next relationship, start to start. Both will be started simultaneously. So this will be started along with this will be started. That is, both activity will be started simultaneously. And start to finish. Can you see here start to finish? Start to finish is nothing but reverse of finish to start. Reverse of finish to start means first we are going to start the second activity. This activity will be started. After completion of this activity, then we are going to start this activity. That is, reverse of finish to start is nothing but start to finish. Okay. So this is important role. Based on this important role, relationships, we can decide the what is the duration required for your project. This is about the relationship types. Next, we'll see about the planning, manual planning here. So before going to the software, we are depending on the manual planning. How we are going to do? So we have CPM or PERT method. CPM in the sense critical path method, or you can say longest path method, and PERT is nothing but program evolution review technique. So these are the two techniques we had followed initially. Okay. So what you are going to get from the CPM? CPM, whatever the software is there, primary software, or even you are going to have the Microsoft project, MSP also. These two tools are using for the planning purposes. In CPM, what happens? We are going to get the total duration of the project, and we can decide whether it is a critical or non-critical. So if you have a critical activity, then we cannot delay. So we cannot make any delay for the critical activity. And non-critical means we can delay for some days. That is non-critical. So critical activity will be displaying always red color, and non-critical activity always displaying green color. So here critical also you have the zero float and negative float. See, zero float is nothing but days. Float will be in terms of days. Okay. Critical in the sense zero float or negative float. Non-critical is nothing but positive float, and floats are nothing but days. Okay, so here what happens, whatever the total software is there, whether it may be a Primavera or Microsoft project, so both will be based on the critical path method only. So initially what happened, they are going to make big network diagrams. Planning was done by calculating manually by using the CPM method. And if you are having suppose 50 activities, okay, we can go for the network diagram. If you are having 500,000 activities, now planning becomes very difficult when you go for the manual calculations. Suppose if you are done also manual calculations, in case if any activity delay, then what happens, we have to recalculate the values, entire values, from where onwards it is delaying. Rest of the activities we have to recalculate the values. That becomes more complication when you go for the manual planning. So manual planning nowadays we are avoided, so that we are depending on the software itself only. Software, suppose if you delay any activity, then if you give a lag, then automatically it will recalculate the total duration of the project, as well as it will recalculate rest of the activities from where you have delayed the activities. Okay. Next, you are going to have PERT. This PERT method, we can decide the duration of the activity. So we have some formula. By using that one, we can decide the duration of the activity. One case will be there, or else we have already some sample projects are completed. If you are working for the company, suppose already some projects are completed, Based on that one, we can consider what is the duration required for the activity. This is a second case. And next case will be the expert judgment. Suppose if any expert person in the company is available or senior person is available, you can take the guidance from him to decide the duration of the activity. Next, we are going to have two terms here, precedence and successor. That is previous, and successor is nothing but next activity. Okay. Next important term is total float. What is total float? If anyone asks what is a float or total float, how we are going to define this one is the amount of time taken by the activity can be delaying without affecting the project finish date. It means that one activity can be delayed, but when you are delaying, you should be seen that the project finish date or end date should not change. That is nothing but total float. Next, next important term in the uh, projects, that is resource. Very important. Labor, non-labor, and materials. Now here what happens? Whatever the resource you required for the projects, you have to make the list of resource, and along with the resources, you have to resource. It may be a manpower or material or equipments. You have to make all the list of the resources and based labor and non-labor. So when you go for the labor and non-labor, it is totally based on working hour basis. Suppose you are going to make the list of labor manpower in the particular projects. If they are working based on the day wise instead of day wise or month wise, if you are working means you have to calculate by the day wise and hour wise. So here, whatever the standard rates you are going to specify, you are going to specify in terms of hour basis. So here, labor and non-labor is totally based on working hour basis. When you come for the material will not have any units, as material to material unit will varies. So for that reason, there is no fixed unit for the materials. So depending upon the materials, you have to change the unit of the materials. So when you go for the steel, it will be in terms of tons. When you go for the cement, it will be in terms of bags. So like this, different material will have different unit. You have to make the list of the whatever the unit you required for the respective resources. That is material resources. So this is very important resources. Next, next is baseline. Baseline is very important. We have to fix the targets. See, first you have done proper planning. You had completed schedule everything. You have to make a target. Target is nothing but baseline. First, you have to fix the baseline. So if you are not fixing the baseline, what happens? There is a lot of problem will be there in the projects. Now, baseline, it is nothing but copy of a current project. Current project, whatever the project we are going to work in the software, that is nothing but current project. Its copy in itself is nothing but baseline. So what is the reason behind for creating baseline means? So it will be useful to make comparison between the current project and baseline project. So what is the current project? Whatever the work to be executed in the fields, whatever the schedule you are going to submit for the execution part, that is nothing but current project. And baseline, its copy in itself is nothing but baseline. So here what happens, when you create a baseline, the dates and duration of baseline will be fixed. Means we cannot modify the baseline dates or duration. Whereas in current project, it varies as the project requirement. Suppose if you create a baseline, what is the plus point of creating baseline means if you delay an activity. So we can easily identify the baseline bars as well as current project bars. If you are delaying, only current project bars will changes, whereas baseline remains as it is. It won't change the bars. And another point is we can create any number of baselines. There is no restriction that you have to create only 5 baseline or 6 baseline or 10 baseline. Whatever the baseline, how many number you require, that much you can create in Primavera P6. But in Microsoft project, what happens? There is a limitation up to 10 plus 1. 11 baselines can be created in the Microsoft project. Okay, baseline, it is nothing but target, copy, reference, or duplicate or benchmark is nothing but baseline. Next, progress. Now, progress is very important. So, progress is nothing but what is the actual work is completed in the fields. So, when you submit a report to the planning engineer, he will start making the progress because so when planning engineer start the progress every weekly he had to submit to the client. whatever is the progress of your project. So you will send a schedule report to the execution part. After completion of certain work activities of the work, you will send to the planning engineer what is the progress you have done in the field sections. Next, this person will input the whatever the requirement, how much work is completed, what is the remaining work is there, what is the target work is there. You will make a report. Okay, weekly report you will make, you will send to the client sections. So here what happens, progress is nothing but you are going to make the progress, what is the actual work completed, what is the balance work is there, what is the target work is there, how we are going to use this one, what is the schedule percentage of completion, how we are going to complete. So these are the things you are going to learn in the update progress. And even you can update manually by entering the percentage of completion. Say for example 10% were completed, or 20% were completed, 30% you can enter manually. Or you are going to have another option, that is schedule percentage of completion. So automatically system will calculate by changing the data date of your project. Automatically system calculate the percentage of completion. So whichever the method you require, that you can follow, then update progress. Then finally you are going to have the reports, how you are going to generate the reports, what type of reports you require, whether you require the cost related reports, schedule reports you required, anything which is required. Already default reports will be there, you can utilize that one, or else you can create your own reports. So this is what you are going to have the reports. So how we are going to generate the reports. Okay, so this is what you are going to learn in the Primavera P6 software. And I would like to show the software how it is going to display now. So is it visible? Software, is it visible? You can see here. Now this is a software where you are going to learn the Primavera P6 software. Now whatever the version I am going to use here, this is the latest version. That is Primavera P6 Professional 19. So this is what your G+10 residential building construction. This is a project which is already completed. Now you can see here, this is what you are going to see main menu of the softwares, and these are the some shortcut icons you are going to have in the below the main menu. And left side also some icons are there, and right side also some icons are there. Along with that one, whatever these you can see here, some activities are completed here. This is a progress. Left side part is blue color part. You can use here these are the activities which is completed. And red color activities are nothing but you can balance work or remaining work or critical work, you can say. Now you can see these are the activities which I had. Before that activities, I want to show you uh, work breakdown structures, different stages of your project. Now you can say this is a what you are going to have different stages of your projects. So here you can see residential building, substructures, superstructures, ground floor, first floor. These are the different stages of your project. Next, when you come for the activity window, here we can add the activities. Substructure, what are the activities you require? Then superstructure, ground floor, what are the activity? First floor, what are the activity? And second floor, these are the activities you required. Finally, what happens? What is the time durations required for your project? Say original duration is 507. And you can see here, okay, you can see here what is the percentage. Suppose I had made some progress. It is showing here, say this much percentage is completed for entire total durations. So 507 out of 507, remaining duration will be 492. So for that, this is a percentage of completion. And when you come for the substructure, so the substructure is completed about 35.2 percentage. Means total duration of your this substructure is 45 days. Out of 45 days, 30% of remaining duration is there. Means 15 days work is completed. For 15 days, this is a percentage of completion, it already calculated here. And you can see a start and finish date here. So start and finish you can see. Say for example, if you see this activity, now see here, it shows A letter in the sense actual work started. If it displays, for example, you can see here. For example, what I will do, uh, suppose if I schedule here some other dates. Okay. If I schedule for some other dates, if I make a progress for some other dates, now you can see. So here some part of delay